With just days to go until the government runs out of money, federal agencies have started planning to suspend non-essential operations. We spoke with NTD Business host Don Ma about the potential impacts on Americans' wallets. Don Ma, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, great to be here, Tiffany.
Don, to begin, what would be the impact on Americans and their finances?
Yeah, sure. Great question. First of all, let's keep in mind that a government shutdown is actually not the end of the world. According to Representative Andy Briggs of Arizona, that a so-called shutdown is really just a pause in non-essential federal spending. But as for the impact, the direct effect will be on the nearly 4 million Americans who are federal employees. Essential workers will remain on the job, but others will be temporarily dismissed until the shutdown ends. And none of them actually will be paid during the impasse if it happens. For many of them, a shutdown would in fact strain their finances, just like it did in the 35-day funding lapse just a few years ago. During that time, people across the country actually returned holiday presents because they needed the cash. Some of them missed mortgage payments, took out short-term loans, and ran up their credit card debt because they had no paychecks for an entire month, Tiffany.
Some serious consequences there. And what about those who don't work for the government? What's the impact there?
Yeah, so for regular Americans, the impact will be for those who are thinking of traveling. The White House is sounding alarms about massive disruptions to air travel as tens of thousands of air traffic controllers and transportation security administration personnel work without pay. And if we look back to the 2019 shutdown, actually hundreds of TSA officers called out from work because many of them actually had to find other ways to make money. And during that shutdown, we also saw impacts for people who are on federal programs for rent because it caused uncertainty for tens of thousands of low-income tenants. These tenants rely on the federal government to help pay their rent. But the main takeaway here is, stay out of debt, right? Keep cash savings on hand and try diversifying your investments. But, of course, these are just general good advice for personal finance overall.
Indeed. Well, Don Ma, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tiffany.